Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a dedicated video finally on these rings I've been wearing. These are sleep and recovery tracker rings. They also track your steps. You might be familiar with the Oura ring. You might not be familiar with the Ultrahuman ring. This video is not sponsored, okay? I purchased the Oura ring myself, and then I think it was 3 days later, Ultrahuman sent me their ring. I could have returned my Oura ring, which I was honestly debating, but then I thought when I was purchasing my Oura ring, I wish I had this video I'm doing today. So I hope this helps someone out there with their decision whether to purchase one of these rings, or even if you're deciding between an Apple Watch, because I was an Apple Watch user for years. So I'm going to briefly touch on my experience with Apple Watch, why I switched over, and also the differences between Oura Ring and Ultrahuman. When I was purchasing my Oura Ring, I wish I knew there was a different option. I love both rings. So if you have an Oura ring already, I don't think you need to switch over unless you don't want to pay subscription fee anymore, which we will get to. I am team sleep tracker ring. Obviously, you've seen me wearing these in videos. I will have both rings linked down below. I do make a small commission off link sales. I used to wear my Apple Watch for years. I don't even know how many years I wore an Apple Watch. It was a long period of time. I was consistent with wearing it. I wouldn't wear it to sleep though, because my watch battery would die by the end of the day. It's just so annoying. So that's the first thing about these rings. They last 6 to 7 days for battery without charging. I only ever charge mine when I go into the shower, and I don't even have to think about charging my ring, because this thing I'd have to charge every night. So I didn't have any sleep data, which was something that I wanted to really dive into for myself. I also didn't want any distractions anymore. And with an Apple Watch, you're constantly getting your messages, your text, your notifications. When I stopped using my Apple Watch, I still felt haptics in my wrist. It was so bizarre that I constantly felt like I was still getting notifications even after stopping my use of an Apple Watch. I'm trying to not be on my phone, be connected to everything as much. I still wanted the data. So if you say data, I think that's a US thing. I say data, it's Canadian. So my apologies if I'm saying it incorrectly to you, but I say data. The data that these give have helped me for health things that I have. I'm really into tracking my cycle, which are insights that I can see on my rings, and just other things that I've noticed. Knowing hormones play a huge part in my whole month, being able to track my sleep and recovery and how things are looking based on my cycle has been something that has just been a game changer for me. Without getting too personal about my health, it's just really helped me in my health journey. So I really love the data that I get. I don't notice these like a watch. They're extremely comfortable on my fingers. If you're interested in data, you're going to be happy with either of these companies. Whether it's Oura, whether it's Ultrahuman, I have loved both of my rings. However, there are some differences, and I wanted to talk about those in this video to help you make the best decision for you, because I think different people are going to have different preferences. I hope this video helps you decide which of these you want to get. A lot of videos I make on my channel are videos that I feel like would have been useful to me, or something that I obviously love and share with everyone else. So I hope this helps someone out decide what kind of ring they want. When I bring out my notebook and take notes, you know it's gonna be a video, okay? First off, let's talk price. One of the main things I think is just cost. If you're going strictly based on cost, Ultrahuman all the way. The Oura ring, they have different finishes, different styles actually. I have the 3, which is important to mention because they recently came out with a 4 version. So I have the 3 Horizon, and then they do have a Heritage version, which is their even more affordable one that has a flat surface. I'll show you close-ups of my rings, but my Oura ring has this mark and indication right here, so you know that you flip it so it's facing you, because if it's turned a different way, it's not going to read things as well.
You can see both rings have scratches. This is the side that you can see which direction to put your Oura ring. Inside you can see the sensors, and the Oura ring is is rose gold compared to the Ultrahuman. I just got the gold. And this is the inside of the Ultrahuman. You can see it's just a much smoother design inside.
Also, on my index fingers, both of these, because that, with the Oura ring, they said, is the best finger for tracking. So I just got it sized to both of those fingers. The unfortunate thing, though, is that if you lose a little bit of weight, then I can't move it to any other finger because this is my biggest finger. So that is something I wanted to note before going in. You do want to make sure that this is sized properly for both rings. And that's an issue I had with Oura because I got it just a little too big, but the size down was just too tight at the time when I got it. Right now I do have a little bit of gapping, which you don't really want to have. And also for sizing, you cannot go off your regular ring size because these are both different than a regular ring size and they don't have half sizes, which is also unfortunate for both rings that they only go up in full sizes. But let's look at the sizing kits. I will go back to price, but just because of the flow of our conversation we're having, just sizing makes sense because it's the first thing that you're gonna get in the mail. So I got both sizing kits and I recommend doing that. You cannot go with your regular ring size for this. So definitely order the sizing kit. The thing with Oura is you can actually try it on at a Best Buy if you want to go in store, which is great. And then you don't have to do the sizing kit. So that is a benefit of Oura, whereas Ultrahuman is only online. So you're not going to be able to size it and you definitely need the sizing kit. The Ultrahuman is closer to my ring size than the Oura. The Oura is completely off in my opinion. So let's look at the Oura because that's what I got first because I did purchase this. And they have sizing 6 through 13. I ended up going with a size 10 for my Oura ring. They recommend sleeping with a couple different sizes overnight just to see with your fingers and how they swell or if you work out. For me especially though, when I was working out a little bit more, I needed the 10 because my fingers do swell quite a bit with working out. With sleeping, I don't have an issue, but that was an issue for me. So I ended up going with the size 10. I wish I would have got a 9. Within 30 days, I think you can exchange sizes. I didn't bother because I kept debating on if I was going to return it or not, just because I had the Ultrahuman and I was happy with the data that I was getting. I have this now because I wanted to do this video. I thought it would be really helpful and I wish I had this video. For the Ultrahuman sizing kit, looks like this. I liked that they actually included the finishes of the ring with their kit, which is something that Oura Ring didn't do. So you can see all their different finishes, which was so nice Ultrahuman to include in the sizing kit so you can actually see what the color is going to look like next to your skin tone. And when I purchased my Oura Ring, I went with the rose gold option because I saw that their gold was more yellow gold. So the Oura Ring gold looks like the Ultrahuman. Mine just looks different because I have the rose gold version, which was the most expensive version. If you were wondering the difference between rose gold and the other gold, this gold is similar to the gold in the Oura. You can see the difference there, that this is just more yellow gold. You can see the design difference too. I like that this is a little thicker and more square than this is rounded. I just like the design of the Ultrahuman better. But for sizing, they have a 5 to a 14. So their sizing is more inclusive and I feel like is closer to my traditional ring size. Again, neither company offers a half size, so just note that going in. I just don't know how you would buy this without getting the sizing kit. So unless you know your actual company's sizing, Ultrahuman versus Oura, you need to get the sizing kit. So don't think you can just guess and you're too eager to get your ring, get the sizing kit. I just highly, highly recommend doing it and sleeping with different rings to see what works for you. Work out with different rings to see how your fingers swell. It's really important. My Ultrahuman ring, I believe, is a size 8. So I got a 10 in the Oura, 8 in the Ultrahuman, both on my index finger, completely different sizes. Back to pricing, I believe these are Canadian prices. The Heritage is the cheapest you can get for $399. That has a flat top for Oura. But right now they have the Horizon 3, which is my ring, and they have it for $399, which it's normally $469. Both Ultrahuman and Oura, I believe, are doing Black Friday sales right now, so it's kind of a good time for this video to go up if you were curious of one of these rings, because you're going to get a discount with either ring. Ultrahuman, they did give me a discount code. I think it's 10%, which you can use. I'll put on the screen. Just a heads up, the 10% code is my year-round code, and there's actually a 20% off code that you can use from now until December 2nd for Ultrahuman. It's just Cheryl20, so you get a little bit more discount if you purchase it for Black Friday. For Oura, I did see they already had some Black Friday sales going on, so you can get my version of the ring for a little bit cheaper. The rose gold option is actually the same as the gold right now, which I saw online. So $5.99. This one was $6.99 when I purchased. The price of the Ultrahuman is even cheaper than the sale price of the Oura ring. So the Ultrahuman is $349, and with my code, which is Cheryl10, it brings it to $314.10 for the cost of the Ultrahuman. There's also a subscription with the Oura ring, and that's $89.99 for 12 months. You can do it monthly. I purchased it all in a year, my subscription, and then for the Ultrahuman, there's no subscription, which for me, I believe is the biggest selling point for Ultrahuman is just the cost difference, because both are giving me data I find useful. Me being able to compare them though, I have noticed differences. The battery life, I went to check. I charged mine both at the same time, and they were at the exact same charging level. It was at 66% for both when I went to check. You can see the time on both screens. They literally have the same battery life for me. They go down in battery if, say, you were doing a breathing exercise and following the app for any of their extras they have, because both have little things you can follow. So that's no different there, but that would obviously eat up more battery if you're following a breathing exercise on the app with your ring obviously connected. I saw online that Ultrahuman, you can trade in a ring. You can trade in your Oura ring and get money off your Ultrahuman purchase. They have engraving and a coverage plan. The thing that is very different though with Ultrahuman is because they are a newer company, a lot of their stuff is in beta, which is like if you got a new iPhone, which is something that I noticed, that I purchased a new iPhone going from a 10 to a 16. It was a big difference for me. But getting a new iPhone, there's going to be some things that are addressed in updates. And that's what is like for the Ultrahuman, because I was having a tracking issue with my steps. I reached out to the team. They had it fixed within, I think it was 24 hours, and it was back to tracking. So all I had to do was update my ring, which the same thing with your phone is just look if there's an update and make sure you're updating your software. So that's just a good little note for anything in life, is to make sure your software is up to date before you think there's any problems going on. So that's the only issue I've had with my Ultrahuman, is with the steps not counting at one point, but I did reach out to the team and it was just a software, not hardware issue. I just had to update my ring. So I did that. And then for both rings, for tracking for steps, that's where a Apple Watch or a smartwatch, I think, works better for more accurate tracking of your steps. I don't think these track my steps as accurately. I think the Oura one is slightly more accurate than the Ultrahuman, but both overestimate my steps in my opinion. So my Oura ring actually tracks when I'm filming as an activity and a workout, which I'm not working out right now. I do talk with my hands. And it also tracks when I'm doing my makeup. So that's an issue I have found with my Oura ring, that it grossly overestimates steps, as does my Ultrahuman. But it's just detecting activity that doesn't exist. It does show up as a notification that we detected an activity, and I just dismiss it, so I don't actually track that, which you can go back into Oura and track your activity. Ultrahuman, you can't. It just naturally picks it up. Oura ring, you can input those activities, and you can also add tags, which is so helpful. So the interface and the app, this has been around more, the Oura Ring. I just feel is a little bit more advanced in your app setup and the things that you can do. But because the Ultrahuman is in beta, those things are up and coming, and I can see some really great updates that they have coming in the future, which I'm personally really excited for. And I think once they have those updates in place, it's going to be a no-brainer of which ring you pick, in my opinion. I love that I've been able to add tags with my Oura Ring. I can see that socializing really drains my battery and it affects my sleep. So anytime I have a social event or a social day, it really does affect me, which makes sense for my homebody personality. Before even having a smart ring, I didn't realize how stressed I chronically was. So I don't feel stressed, but my body for both my rings is showing me that I have high stress all day. Pretty much from the moment I wake up, I'm at a level of stress. And there's things that I've noticed that do bring me into a recovery state, which really have surprised me. Anytime I'm by water when I'm going fishing or just by a body of water, my body relaxes, which just blew me away to see actual data for both rings showing me I'm in a relaxed state when I'm fishing or doing something like that. I thought reading would help me. It has not with my stress. So that doesn't even bring down my stress. I think things that just tune out my mind is what helps me. So if I can actually do an activity, focus like fishing or something like that, my stress level just goes down. So I just have to kind of tune my brain out. I don't have any issue with sleeping though, so the data there didn't surprise me. Honestly, when I saw that I'm basically an expert sleeper, I don't have any issue falling asleep, staying asleep. I don't move in my sleep overly much. I don't snore. They can detect if you have issues with breathing, if your movement's waking you up, how your latency is from the time you go to bed to how you fall asleep. I think 15-minute window is ideal. You don't want to fall asleep too fast or your body was too tired. You don't want it to take you a long time to fall asleep, or that's not good either. Also, my body always wakes up naturally around the same time, regardless of what time I go to bed. So if I have a very social evening, it really affects my sleep in that sense because I'm going to wake up at 5:36 every day regardless of what my sleep is that night. So I'm always waking up at the same time. Oura Ring in the US, I believe your insurance covers it as birth control. Don't quote me on that because I'm Canadian. I've just heard this from other people, but because the Oura Ring links up to natural cycles, you can track your cycle with that, and this has a temperature gauge. Both the rings do. They check your basal body temperature in the morning, and you can see how your temperature fluctuates. You can see if you're ovulating based on temperature. However, you have to have it linked up to your natural cycles app. I can't tell those things based on my Ultrahuman yet. They do have a menstrual cycle plugin, is what they call it, in beta. So there's a ton of different plugins you can get with your Ultrahuman. The menstrual cycle one, which I'm personally very much looking forward to because I've tracked my period with different methods, different apps prior to having kids. Because the Oura Ring syncs up to natural cycles, you actually need a subscription to natural cycles as well. So you're paying for the subscription for your ring, but you're also paying for your subscription for natural cycles. So it adds up in terms of cost. If you're getting this for tracking your menstrual cycle, it's just going to be more costly. However, if you do have insurance, I guess that's going to cover some of it, but don't quote me. I'm not from the US. This is just hearing from other creators when I was looking into connecting this to natural cycles, which I didn't bother because both rings do connect to my health app for my Apple phone, and you can sync your data. So my Ultrahuman ring tells me what phase in my cycle is because I was having issues with ovulation. For hormones, for me, ovulation, I noticed was triggering some things for me. I could document that. It was great because I had this data available to share. These symptoms start when ovulation hits. It was a hormone issue I was having, but it was nice to just have that data there to support what I already felt and knew because I can actually feel when I'm ovulating. I think it's a German term, People do have this. I do have it. Every time I talk about it, people think it's weird, but sometimes ovulation is actually more painful than when you're on your period. For me, having the power of having that data there for my own health has been very beneficial in my own health journeys. I cannot wait for their power plug for the menstrual cycle to be available for the Ultrahuman ring, because I'm very much looking forward to that. I know that's a selling point for the Oura ring. You can link it up to natural cycles. I get that right now as your decision to get an Oura ring, because it can help you track your menstrual cycle, which is so beneficial for us, tracking our cycles. I highly recommend even pen and paper doing it throughout the month, just tracking your cycle if you've never done it, because it's really been powerful for me over the years to just track my cycle and I know to the day I'm gonna get my period. I knew my cycle so well. I had a window of conception for my kids. Both my kids, to the day, I went into labor on my son's due date, but had him the next day. And I had my daughter on her due date, just because I'm very aware of my body, my cycle. I could tell pretty much exact dates. I've just been always into tracking my cycle, is what I want to let you guys know. This just makes it easy having rings for that. I already talked about tags being a benefit for the Oura ring. I think the interface and the aesthetic of the app for Oura ring is much better than the Ultrahuman. I just think it's more pleasing to the eye, though that's personal preference, and honestly at the end of the day does not matter. But I do love how the Oura ring app is set up. I think it's easy to navigate. It looks aesthetic. I just love everything about their app. Also for Oura ring, you can put on rest mode, which I find helpful, because then it's not tracking your activity goals, which I feel can be overwhelming if I'm not feeling good and I have to get up to a certain amount of steps and I'm not feeling like that's going to happen. It's nice that I can just turn on rest mode if I'm not feeling well, and it just not be something that they focus on for you. They won't show you your activity or that be a goal, which is so good, and it's not going to affect all your other data because you needed a rest day. So I love that you can actually put that on for your Oura ring. It's super helpful. These both can detect if you're under the weather after you've worn these for a bit. It's not going to do it right away. For certain aspects of the ring, they will open up, I think, after 2 weeks of wear. For both cases, you're just going to get more and more insights the longer you wear them. So if you're wearing this for a day and expecting to know everything about your body, it's just not going to happen. You need to wear these consistently. And I have not taken these off from the day that I got these in the mail. I've worn them every single day. I'm committed to sharing with you my experience with these, and just for myself too. If I wasn't going to do this video, I was obviously interested as I was in the market because I purchased this. One day I woke up, I was not feeling good. I could see just my data was just off, especially for my Ultrahuman. It showed exclamation points for different aspects of the things it tracks. It's just like, whoa, slow down, something's going on, and I felt like garbage. I didn't need to look at my ring to know that. It's cool how it can actually tell you that you need to slow down. And that has been a big thing for me, because obviously I noticed I was chronically stressed and I needed to slow my life down. That's something that I've been focusing on, trying to make my HRV score a little better. It was something that was a little off for me, but it was also cool to see that my VO2 max was really good. I'm in the elite category for my VO2 max, and for my resting heart rate is elite. So that's the best you can get. It obviously could get even a little bit better in that category, but I've made it there. My heart health for me is a 33-year-old when I'm almost 39. So my heart is good, which I've always worried about, but my ring can show me with, I think, 97% accuracy my data. So it's nice to know that I'm on a good track. I just need to get my stress under control. It was an eye-opener for me. I genuinely didn't think I was stressed at all. I'm as cool as a cucumber most days, I feel. But my body is not. Apparently inside is a different story. One thing about both rings, you can adjust the latency. So I've noticed sometimes that it's a little off for when I've actually gone to bed. So you can actually go in and change that in your sleep data so that it is more reflective of when you actually fell asleep. Sometimes it is off and it doesn't detect it right away. Both rings do that though, so I've been able to change it for both rings, which is really nice. I like the look and fit overall of my Ultrahuman better. It doesn't have the bumps on it, which is more smooth. The new Oura ring, the number 4, also is more smooth. So the bumps I kind of feel on the Oura ring, so I do just like the look and feel of the Ultrahuman better. Of course, depends on your aesthetic. This is my preference. Overall, I'm team ring versus watch. I'm so happy I made the change. It's data without the distraction, which was something that I wanted to make a change in my life because I did love my Apple Watch for the data I was getting. I wasn't getting any of the sleep data though because of the battery life, which charges great on these. I always charge them as I go into the shower at night, and then that gives me enough charge to just go about my days, and I don't really ever have to fully charge them. There's been occasions where I've just left them on to fully charge because if you're below, I think 30% battery, it won't track your sleep properly, so you do need to have it above a certain threshold to actually track properly for both rings. That's just something you need to know. I've just been so happy with my experience with both rings. I feel like with whatever ring you decide to go with, you're gonna be happy with it. I've gotten used to wearing both rings that it'd just be weird for me to take one off, but I know my friend wanted to try one to just see how it is. Also off the Ultrahuman website, I just have a couple different things compared to a watch. Just in case you're making the decision yourself like I was, it says that these are more accurate because fingers provide more accurate biomarker data than wrists due to higher blood flow and arterial density. They're 11 times lighter and they're more comfortable, which it is, than a watch on your wrist. I don't even notice these on my fingers anymore. People find them a little bit bulky. I think my fingers are bulky in general, so I don't honestly notice a difference when I put rings on them. I'm probably missing something in this video, so if there's something I didn't cover in my notes, just let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to help you out and help you decide whether one of these rings are better for you than the other. I think both are great, as I said, and you'll be happy with either of them. If you've been really eyeing and looking into getting one of these rings, now's the time because of Black Friday sales. I knew it was coming up and I thought this would be the perfect time just because of the amount of time I've used these for, and also because you're actually gonna get a decent discount on these rings at this time. So I hope this video helped you out. And if you do decide to pick one up, let me know which ring you decide to get in the comment section below. I would love to know. And if you have one of these rings already yourself, let people know in the comments what your experience was. We have such a great community here. Definitely stick around, subscribe to my channel. We help each other out here. Anything beauty related, but this is just something that I was curious of myself that I thought, because I do YouTube, it would be a good idea for me to actually give my opinion after being a consumer and using these for how many months now. I hope this helped you out. I hope it helps one person out decide which ring they want to go with. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, for spending some time with me today. If you've not already, I'd absolutely love for you to stick around, subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.